Hello, everyone, and welcome to our deep dive into a pressing health issue affecting millions of people in India. The alarming rise of diabetes and insulin resistance has created havoc with the health of general public, particularly in today's society. And today we unravel the layers behind this epidemic, exploring its roots, impact, and the path forward. Now, as you all know, that diabetes is a global illness. It affects uh, diverse population, but in somewhat a different way. And today I'm going to talk about how does it affect people in India, and particularly I will discuss about the insulin resistance. And as you all know that there are about 130 million active cases of diabetes, and there are a lot more cases of insulin resistance, probably many times more than the actual number of diabetic patients exist in India. And this so-called potential diabetic uh, does have serious consequences in our country's health, economy, productivity, and so forth. So, to understand how insulin resistance is different in people of India, we have to go back thousands of years ago because of multiple invasions, enslavement, poor economy. The country went through a shortage of food for thousands of years, and basically it imperiled the population, who subsequently become malnourished, and the children who were born throughout this period were low birth weight. And the studies have shown that children who are born low birth weight tend to have earlier and much severe onset of insulin resistance and diabetes, in spite of them having normal or subnormal body weight. And this conundrum must be understood. Diabetes is not just a disease of obese people, but in particularly in Indian context, it start affecting people who are normal or subnormal weight. So with that background, I would like to discuss um, the patient we have treated recently, um, and through his story, I would like to throw light on this particular issue, that how insulin resistance is different among Indian population, and how it must be managed much more early and aggressively. Um, so, first of all, I would like to share this recent lab report of my patient, whom we are going to discuss shortly. And as you can see on the screen, his total cholesterol is 216, triglyceride level is 117, HDL cholesterol is 28, and LDL cholesterol is 166. Now, so far, this type of test is routinely done, but nowadays there is a different test. It's called as NMR lipo, which is a much more detailed test, and I'm going to share with you the second part of this test in the next slide. Here you go. So this is the second part of the slide, and as you can see at the bottom of the screen, the um, the insulin resistance score in this gentleman was 76, and he did have fairly smallish LDL particle um, compared to normal population. This LDL particle size should be in the range of 21, 22, but it's down to 20.6. Um, so why this is important to understand? In this patient, insulin resistance was very high, and what it did, it started reducing the size of the LDL particle. And because of reduction in the size of LDL particle, this gentleman will become very prone to atherosclerosis and its consequences, such as heart attack, stroke, and what have you. So very early on, my patient, by the way, is only 32-year-old. So very early on, he will start developing these potentially lethal condition if I would not have intervened. So mother was treated aggressively with um, and not with statin, that's for sure, but we emphasize reducing his insulin resistance. And the way we worked on insulin resistance is that we encourage him to lose weight. We used a regimen of semaglutide once a week. We also used a customized AI generated diet plan for him. We also used a customized exercise plan for him, which focused on insulin resistance. Gave him a number of nutritional supplement, including omega-3, and we followed him up for next 6 to 8 months. In about 4.5 months, Mandar lost about 35 pounds, and he recently came back this year in February, and I'm going to share with you his most recent lab results. So this is his total cholesterol now 200. Triglyceride is down to 87 from 117. His HDL cholesterol went up to 34, and LDL cholesterol dropped down to 150. Most importantly, his LPIR score, or the insulin resistance score, dropped down to 43 from 76, which is about 80% drop, which is quite significant. And as you can see, the size of the LDL particle started to increase, which is really encouraging for him. So Mandar is now 35 pound less in weight. He has, in this next slide, almost 16% of body fat. Initially, before he lost all this weight, it was 23%. So quite dramatic decrease in the body fat. And with the loss of fat, he also lost his insulin resistance. So the point being is that such patient need to be aggressively followed and treated with emphasis in reducing insulin resistance. It's not about reducing the amount of LDL cholesterol. It is about correcting the fundamental metabolic problem, which is insulin resistance. And as you can see that I did not use any statin or any lipid lowering agent in this gentleman. He We treated him without all of that, and in spite of that, his numbers are significantly better. Um, so um, Next is that I will let Mandar talk about his experience. He has been very gracious and kind enough to share his story with us, and I would like you all to listen to him and learn from his experience. And I hope that it will help general public in getting education about this alarming common issue. So without further ado, here it is. So, hello everybody. This is Dr. Mehta, and I am going to be talking to Mother, and Mother is going to give us some information about his experience with our weight loss program using our customized diet supplement as well as the semaglutide. So, without much further ado, I'll ask Mander to first tell us when when did you start the program?
So I started sometime in July. After having my annual physical done, I realized that I'm really in bad shape. So that's when I decided, after taking guidance from you, that I'll basically start this program. And since then, I've been doing this, and I've been seeing good results so far.
Okay. So when I first talked to you about your lab result, what specifically, what are the things I pointed out to you?
Yeah, so first and foremost was my insulin resistance, which was like really crazy high. That is something causes other things to like go low or go high, like for example cholesterols and other stuff. Like my particle size were a bit going on smaller side, so that is something which you pointed out. And you mentioned that if you lose weight, if you try to reverse the insulin resistance, I think that is definitely going to help you in your uh, parameters and overall health.
So I noticed that you were not particularly very overweight
Right.
from your initial visit back in July, but I still insisted that your insulin resistance level is very high and we need to control that. Uh, so, um, so when we started the program, you started the semaglutide as well as the diet plan and the exercise plan. What was your experience with semaglutide?
So first of all, I was really nervous. Like, will I will I have any side effects or not? But I fortunately did not have any side effects as such. Maybe for the first day I felt a bit nauseous, but after that I never felt anything different uh, in terms of side effects. And after I started taking it, it was like you you don't feel as hungry as you would otherwise, and that kind of reduces your appetite a bit. And along with that, doctor had already given me a recommendation about what to eat and then work out. So I started working out and tried to follow diet religiously, and avoided as much as fast food as I can, because I love to eat those things like samosas and whatnot. So I think avoiding that kind of helped me a lot in my overall experience.
So your journey included a very good diet control, and the semaglutide helped you get to that point that you can
Yes.
control your urges.
Yes,
Okay.
as well as making sure that I'm working out. I think that is also very critical part, that I'm maintaining, like I'm not overeating or I'm not having extra calories. I'm trying to manage those as well, so that kind of help too.
Okay. And in total, how much weight have you lost in how many months?
So when I started in July, I was about 203 pounds, roughly 92, 93 kgs. And now I am about 170, even actually less than that, 168 to 169 pounds. I have lost about 35 pounds, I would say, since I started from July until probably November end. That's when I had probably lost about 35 pounds.
Wonderful.
And right now I'm at constant weight,
Okay.
which is about 167, 168 pounds.
So how do you feel about your health now? What is your energy level?
First of all, like, uh, once I started taking care of myself, I think that helped me a lot. Like having energy to work in the morning. Like sometimes you would be lethargic and you would be like, I don't want to work today. But after like couple of weeks, I really started feeling much better, much confident, because I was able to have a good amount of energy, plus because of exercise and making sure that I'm not overeating. That kind of helped me as well, because if you overeat, you will tend to fall asleep, right? Or you will start feeling sleepy. So that is something which helped me, and now I'm like, I really feel good. Like I recently had baby, and even with lack of sleep, I still had really good amount of energy in me. So I'm really uh, amazed how much this overall transformation has helped me, and it means a lot, as taking care of health is the first and foremost priority, right? So
And you are very young and you're still able to understand all this very quickly. So congratulations to you for achieving that. That's not an easy thing to do, by the way.
yeah.
So and I think I just reviewed his second lab result panel, and he's very pleased with that. And I'm going to share both of them in my upcoming video. So thank you all for
Thank you.
listening. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed his talk, a small story about his journey with the insulin resistance, and he has successfully beaten that horrible metabolic problem. So I hope this video help our listeners and viewers um, understand this complex issue, and they should be able to take the right course of action. Please understand that the statin therapy is not the answer if you come across such metabolic panel or lipid panel, because this is not going to correct insulin resistance. In fact, it will make your insulin resistance much worse. And in fact, as we all know, that it can also potentially make you diabetic. So I look forward to talking to you all in near future when I'll be coming up with more stories, more exciting cases. Till that time, goodbye.